What is up, people out there in the YouTube universe? Of course, I'm DJ Cass, and I'm here to give you my little NXT review from what we just seen. Now, this NXT episode, this was, of course, the Fallout episode from NXT Takeover Unstoppable last week, which was an absolutely great show. But yeah, okay. We kicked off NXT with the NXT champion Kevin freaking Owens, and you talk about like just an absolute dick. Like this guy, I mean, first of all, Sami Zayn's music actually plays, and then lo and behold, you talk about trolling the crowd. Like he trolled that crowd like crazy. He came out and he still came down to the ring with Sami Zayn's music playing. And what's top it all off, he wore a John Cena's "The Champ Is Here" United States T-shirt. Now, of course, we all know this Sunday it's going to be John Cena versus Kevin Owens, champion versus champion match. No titles on the line. Now, of course, Kevin Owens, he talked on how like I kind of find it weird on how you guys are saying Cena sucks, but when Sami Zayn arrives, you cheer him, and he sucks even more. And of course, Kevin Owens, he does his thing. He just says like how great he is and how he's a genuine person. Like he's a kind individual. Like I let you guys have that moment with Samoa Joe last week. Like, cause in reality, I would have dropped Joe right where I stood. I honestly don't think that he would have because we all know Samoa Joe. But yeah, of course he went on, and of course NXT General Manager William Regal, which he has done a great job as the General Manager of NXT. He came down, confronted Kevin Owens for his actions, and then he says, "Okay, before you get on me, let me remind you that you put your hands on me first. So don't even think about like." Kevin Owens, he just knows how to like make a situation that's supposed to be negative on him, but then he turns it into a positive for him. It's like he knows how to find loopholes in contracts. That's how great of a character he is. And then of course Solomon Crow from all people, he came out and he says, "I think that you are absolute garbage for what you did to Sami Zayn." And Kevin Owens, he said, "I don't give people opportunities who haven't earned them." But Kevin Owens, as soon as Solomon Crow said that about him, he was like, "Okay, since you want to talk crap about me, how about I give you the opportunity to step in the ring with the champ?" And of course, William Regal made the match, and our main event was Kevin Owens versus Solomon Crow, which I will get to now. Of course, the first NXT match of the night, it was Emma versus Bayley. Now, this match to me was just, again, it was just there. Like, wasn't advancing nothing. And as far as Emma is concerned, like I didn't like her when she was on the main roster. I mean, honestly, her gimmick that she had, it was really basically just for her to look dumb. I mean, that's what Emma's gimmick, just to look dumb. And she found out that that wasn't working. Of course, Emma actually got the win over Bayley. Could you please explain to me, like, why the heck Dana Brooke was out ringside? Like, this is between Emma and Bayley. Like, what the heck? So all of a sudden, Emma and Dana Brooke are just friends. Need I remind you that they lost their tag team match last week to Charlotte and Bayley. Now, of course, after the match, Emma and Dana Brooke, they attacked Bayley. Then Charlotte came down, my girl, and she tried to put a stop to it. Now, of course, Charlotte got beat down, and Emma and Dana Brooke walk away as the not victors, but just saying like we just got a one up. Like to me, that whole situation, like if they were going to do the tag team match next week, that would have made a lot of sense. But for them to just like do that, especially after last week when they lost, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I want this whole Emma and Bayley thing to stop. It honestly needs to stop. Okay, then we had a few interviews actually that Renee Young did from last week. It was with Baron Corbin and Zack Ryder. Of course, we all know Baron Corbin versus Rhino last week. Now, I don't mind seeing Rhino versus Baron Corbin one more time. I actually thought they had a good match last week. I want to see more of that. As far as the interview with Zack Ryder, that was so random last week. They just needed people to interview. And Mojo Rawley, made his return. And Mojo Rawley, like, what was the last time we had seen this guy? Like a year? Like a few months? Like, I don't like his gimmick either, but yeah, that's beside the point. And the next match that we had on NXT, it was Blake and Murphy, the NXT Tag Team Champions, with Alexa Bliss taking on two local wrestlers. I don't remember their names at the moment. Of course, they got the win. Alexa Bliss, I don't know what it is about Alexa Bliss. It's like she doesn't like. It's like she's not living up to the standards like Bayley, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, and Charlotte. It's like she's not living up to them. I honestly don't even like the fact that she's with Blake and Murphy because that doesn't do anything for Alexa Bliss, in my opinion. She needs to be on her own. Like, look what Becky Lynch and the rest of them are doing on their own. Alexa Bliss, if you could just step up and stop being with people, maybe you would actually get somewhere. And far as Blake and Murphy is concerned, like I really, really cannot stand Blake and Murphy as the NXT Tag Team Champions. Not because they're heels, just because of the fact that they have no charisma. They are the most boring NXT Tag Team Champions I've ever seen since Graves and Neville. And that is saying something. And their theme music sucks. Their Titantron is bad. They were terrible looking tights. It's like these guys were just given the belts just to be given the belts because they need the Lucha Dragons to get those belts off of them. Now we're probably gonna see. Now we heard next week it's supposed to be Carmella and Alexa Bliss 1-on-1. That'll be a nice little match. And of course, the next match that we had was Ty Dillinger versus the number one contender for the NXT Championship, Finn Balor. Now, of course, it was pretty much a squash match. I mean, not really much to gain from it. We just need to see Finn Balor in action. It's gonna be really interesting to see what they do when it comes to Finn Balor, since he's now the number one contender, because he already lost to Kevin Owens. So does that mean he's gonna win? And Hideo Itami, of course, we saw him. He got injured last week, being attacked, and we saw him get his shoulder repaired. Yeah, I wonder who attacked him. You really gotta wonder who attacked him. So yeah, and of course we got the main event. It was Kevin Owens versus Solomon Crowe. Not much of a matchup, which is actually what I kind of expected because it was a pretty much a 8-minute match. And Kevin Owens, like again, he just showed how great he is as a heel and his performance. He dominated Solomon Crowe throughout the match. No offense to Solomon Crowe, he got a little bit of offense in, but it was mainly dominated by Kevin Owens, and Owens got the win. Now, Kevin Owens, of course, like I said, he got the win. And of course, like we knew he was gonna like attack Solomon Crowe, and lo and behold, the Samoan submission machine showed up to break that little thing up. And of course, we all know that we were not going to see Joe and Owens fight out, especially with Owens about a few days till the biggest match of his life against John Cena. And of course, speaking of Kevin Owens, he will be on SmackDown tomorrow, so you will get his thoughts. People watch SmackDown. This overall episode of NXT, not much of a Fallout show, really. I mean, really didn't get no answers to like from any of the matches, which I really don't mind because like I said, NXT isn't a 1 hour show, but they utilize every single bit of it. My final thoughts on the whole episode: Alexa Bliss, get some charisma, and that goes for Blake and Murphy too. Can't wait to see John Cena versus Kevin Owens Sunday. That is going to be a great match. As far as I'm concerned, I'm DJ Kaz, and that was your NXT review. See you around.